Hello everybody, how are you? This is Andreja, and in today's video I will tackle the next zodiac sign, Aquarius. By the way, happy birthday to all of you who've been celebrating this month. Alright, let me quickly cover the basics for all of the new people here. The two programs that you will see me using are Adobe Photoshop for the initial sketch, and then I do the rest in Adobe Illustrator. The computer that I use is a Wacom Cintiq Companion 2, which is a tablet and computer all-in-one. As usual, I will leave all of the links and details in the description box just in case you want to learn more. In regards to the Aquarius sign, I decided not to incorporate any sorts of vase. I wanted to keep it simple, and that is why I decided to make it so that the character has some sort of power to control water. Perhaps through wind, since Aquarius is an air sign. Drawing the water was probably the most challenging part of the illustration, because to me it kept looking like some sort of jelly or slime. It also did not help the fact that the water had to be yellow to keep the style consistent among all of my previous designs. Oh dear, I keep stumbling across this same issue over and over again. I really need to remember next time not to set such rules without considering if it's really reasonable or if it will cause more issues than anything else. But hey, we all learn from our mistakes. Anyways, as per your request, I made another chibi with short hair. She slightly reminds me of Sailor Mercury, or is it just me? It is probably because of the water ball in her hand. I didn't even realize the similarity until now that I'm looking at the video. It's so funny. Anyways, what about we have a chat and I answer some of your questions? Okay, let's start with a very simple one. How old is your cat? Namine is 3 years old. She was born on the 4th of December. Did she live with you in Europe? I moved to Australia from Europe over 10 years ago, so as I said before, we got her 3 years ago and we got her from a local place here in Melbourne. Next question, when did you decide to expand the hobby from commissions to opening a Patreon and Etsy store? Was it a long process? Okay, so this is probably a bit of a longer answer. I basically decided to start a Patreon after I've attended a couple of official YouTube events, workshops, and a couple of one-to-one consultations. And through those, I kind of realized that the ad revenue on YouTube will never be enough to cover all of the costs associated with running my YouTube channel. It is especially difficult with the doll hobby because There are no large companies that would sponsor influencers like they do with gamers, makeup artists, and other similar content creators. You may be sent some free merchandise or dolls every now and then, but in the long run that doesn't really pay the bills. Or at least not in this crazy expensive country that I live in. So after building my channel for a few years and investing a ton of my own time and money to make as great content as I possibly could, I just realized that things are simply not sustainable. And as a grown-up adult, I couldn't justify continuing running things as I was. And it was either I find a solution and another stream of revenue, or I switch back to being a casual creator and upload every now and then. So then I decided to give Patreon a go. It honestly took a couple of months of planning and researching and working before I was ready to launch. And it was a massive commitment to run a campaign like that, but it was totally worth it. The idea of opening an Etsy store became serious much later though, and it was inspired by my friends and coworkers who sell their own merchandise. That one also took a long time to set up and prepare a decent amount of products to put up for sale, but things worked out somehow. It definitely helped to have a monthly project like the Zodiac series that can be turned into a charm or sticker. That way, every 4 weeks I have something new and exciting ready to be released. I hope this answered your question. Alright, next one. Have you always liked dolls, or did you develop love for them as a teenager/adult? I think I've mentioned this before, but yes, I've always liked dolls. However, I didn't have many toys as a child because my family just couldn't really afford it. So then, as soon as I was able to earn and save some money, I got into the doll hobby, and that is basically how it all started. What is the hardest part of your passion? The hardest part of my passion? It is probably having courage to really follow my passion. Do what I want to do, even if it's something completely new and different. It is especially difficult when you have an online presence and people are used to see a specific type of work from you. Any sorts of change can make people really upset, and the pushback can spark this very ugly sense of guilt in you, which then just further pushes you away from having any honest interest and excitement to do what others want to see from you. As my dad always used to say to me, moderation is key in life. Otherwise, even good things risk turning into poison. It is really difficult for me to articulate these kinds of things. I hope it makes sense. Next question. Describe your personal art style. Would you ever do something hyper-realistic? That is a really difficult thing to answer, because as you've seen, I draw things in so many different ways depending on the medium. I don't think I can possibly narrow it down to a specific style. I feel like anything that I say would not be really accurate. However, to answer your second question, I definitely did some pieces in the so-called hyper-realistic style. We did that as part of my school projects many years ago. It was definitely a great and very valuable experience, but probably not something that I would do again. I feel like it's just too time-consuming for my taste. Nowadays, I try not to be stuck on the same illustration for more than 3 days because I get really tired and sick of it, which is not a good feeling to have while working on your own projects. Okay, one last question for the day. What books do you recommend for reading to help with motivation and positive thinking? I am really happy that you asked that because I love this book called Brave, which was written by Margie Worrell. It is such an uplifting and, most importantly, easy to read book. What I really like about it is how to the point it is and very interesting. Plus, each chapter is only a few pages long, so if you're super busy, it really doesn't take more than a few minutes to get some really valuable thoughts from the book. I keep my copy next to my bed so that every night I go to sleep feeling positive and motivated. I will have the name of the book in the description if you're interested. I highly recommend it. Alright, so this is pretty much the finished Aquarius sign. I hope you like it. Just like last time, I am not entirely sure if I will have the charms and stickers up on my Etsy store by the time this video goes live. I've been having some troubles with receiving parcels from Zap Creatives, so I can't promise anything, but I will still leave links to my Etsy store in the description if you want to have a look. The next sign in the queue is Pisces, so please leave any wishes or suggestions for the character in the comment section. I always read all of your comments, and so many of them have inspired and influenced my designs. That is why I hope you will continue sharing your thoughts with me. Okay then, it is time for me to go. Thank you again for being here and watching my videos. Take care and I will talk to you again really soon. Bye!